Hey everybody, welcome back to Gerad Riester YouTube, where anything worth doing is worth overdoing. Today I thought I'd, not really going to do a full unboxing, but just kind of show you around what you get in the package with the free Wing Mirage 2000. This is the V2. So from what I understand, it's overpowered, which I'm never going to complain about. And it's a good flyer. We'll take it out the field and try that out, but let's just take a look at what's in the package. I already undid the tape, so let's see if I can do this one-handed. This is the challenge. Here, you know what? First of all, there's a box. That's the outer box that was around it. And if there is an open box, there's a cat in it. This is Evie. I'm thinking you've met Evie yet. She's the one in the box. You have met Danny. He's our very large Siamese-looking, what we believe to be an American bobtail. Anyway, here, I'll set this up on the stand and see if I can do better with two hands than I can do with one hand. I think so. I don't know how people do that with the one hand. I can't do it. So here we go. And then once I get the box off, if it ever comes off, then I'll retrieve the quote camera that might actually be my iPhone that I use for a camera, as many do. And we'll get you into the box, have a nice look at everything. But we'll get this outer box off first. It's like the inner box, or the foam is just kind of sticking to the box. Things are bouncing around too. Okay, I can already see we got some decals, which I might throw those on there for fun. It's a tiger meat style. Actually, I didn't realize this version came with that, but that's what it looks like. I'm not a big decal applier. Used to build plastic models. Kind of didn't put decals on a lot of them because I didn't like doing the water slide. But here it is. So this is what you get in the box. User's manual, pretty solid. It's like wings and just the wings on top. Yep, just the wings. It's like some covers, tip for the glue. Notice that in the F4 as well, it came with a tip for the glue, but who needs that? And a few plastic accessories. Nice big bottle of glue. The F4 came with that too. I've already used it on other airplanes, so that's kind of nice. Use the dreaded box cutter to cut this tape right here. It's a very dangerous implement. You can ask a friend of mine that. It's vicious. Anyway, yep, so there are the wings. I guess we don't really need to take those out right now. I'm not really ready to do that. We want to get the fuselage on the stand first, and we'll take them out. So we'll just separate the two boxes, which they were not the most securely taped together, and who cares? It is fine, but usually they are more solidly linked. All right, so that's the upper box. There's the lower box. That's where it's like the meat and potatoes are. We got the tail, those big fuel tanks, which very inclined, especially since it's apparently overpowered, to fly it after the maiden. I don't ever maiden with ordnance or anything, but I'll throw those big externals on because it looks kind of neat with them, just for fun. Not all the time, but definitely fly it for some good video, and I don't know, I like the look of it. There's the fuse. So yeah, fairly compact airplane. It's a 80 millimeter I believe watched John from Two Brothers do his video on it, and he said it was a 70mm jet with an 80mm power plant. I'm a big fan of that because, as you know, our motto is anything worth doing is worth overdoing. Aft section of the fuselage does not have carbon spars going through it. Also, don't think you need that. It's a small piece and it's not heavy at all, and it looks like the tail holds it on as well, so no concerns there. There's the nose, magnet attached or held on nose, so it comes off for transport and that kind of thing. Looks like the pylons for the fuel tanks, and that's it. And do a little bit of work, and then I'll bring you back as I continue the assembly. Okay, so we're going to continue on with the build. We got the manual here, good quality manual, nice. A lot of these planes that I've had recently, they got a QR code or something, and you got to pull a manual up online, which really isn't a big deal, but here you got a paper one, just grab and get going. So what I thought were the pylons for the external tanks. Actually, they're fillets for the fuselage into the aft section of the fuselage, forward to aft section. So first step is to glue all that on. We'll do that real quick, and through the magic of time lapse, it'll happen in seconds. Well, this morning I glued the aft section of the fuselage and the fillets on. Last night, actually the second one this morning. My gluing job was not the world's best. I'm not proud of it, but I've never really been a big fan of using this rubber cement style glue, and this kind that comes with them. It's a little runny, and I think if I had to do it over again, I might have used a different glue than the one provided, but they're on there. And the next thing is to just assemble the wings, put the main landing gear in the wings, and put the tail on. It's pretty basic stuff, and then you just glue on the accessories. But we'll do all that through the magic of time lapse, and so enjoy that, and I'll be back with you in a moment. Well, I reached a work stoppage point due to screwdriver length. So a couple of things on these. There's a screw that goes in the bottom of the tail that comes through, comes to the top of the fuselage in the nozzle. However, here, let's adjust this so you can see. Here we go. So in the nozzle here, comes through the top or the bottom of the fuselage, and then the actual screw goes in inside here. You need to come through this hole, at least they provided the hole, to access that screw, and I don't have a screwdriver long enough to reach that with me, so I'm gonna have to go out in the garage and get one of my long screwdrivers. This is the screw, so no big deal, but something to consider. Other than that, tail went on easy, just 3 screws. Everything else basically screwed together other than just close out for the landing gear and accessories. So I'm gonna go get that screwdriver and I'll be back with you in a moment. Okay, we're back and we got our screwdriver. So this is definitely long enough. I couldn't find an intermediate size for some reason that I have. I know I've got them somewhere. Oops. But anyway, got it, and I'll give it a shot here. It's going to be a little bit more of a challenge. One thing, this is not magnetic. I got two. Let's see. That one is magnetic. So see if we can stick it through and get it in there, and finally get the tail on. I mean, another way to approach it would be to try to feed it through from underneath with your hand. I've got small hands, and even with that, I don't think I could manage that. But it's going in, no problem. And that's probably tight enough. Just going into plastic with metal. It's a big screwdriver. Get a lot of torque off of it. So there we go. Tail is on, easy enough. Just hooked it right up. Also under here you got the ESC connectors, but you also got them underneath, so you could access them either way. And next will be to assemble the wings, and again we'll just do that via time lapse. So get back with you in a second. One other thing to talk about, as you often get with these these models, many of them, depending on where they're made, but almost anywhere that they're made, they leave out vital pieces of information. In this case, what connectors, well, there's two connectors underneath, taped to the bottom, and it doesn't really say what they're for, and it doesn't say where to hook up the aileron connectors, and it doesn't say anything about installing the main landing gear. But after taking a look at it, okay, it's not too hard to figure out. The connectors underneath are for the landing gear. The servo leads for the ailerons, it's funny, well, they're aileron elevators, pretty critical since they're kind of your main flight control surfaces. You feed them through, so no problem there. And no Y cable, because they're going to each need to be plugged in separately since it's a Delta wing. So mystery solved, no big deal. Back to assembly. Okay, that's basic assembly. All that's left is just to put on the accessories. Got a landing gear closeouts, which you're going to want to be able to access the gear possibly at some point. So I wouldn't glue it with anything permanent. Use maybe a sparing amount of the foam tack, or some people use hot glue, things like that. But yeah, that's it, and I'm gonna put those on. I don't have a receiver for it yet. It's coming tomorrow, and because it's a Delta, I'm just using a AR6, I think 671 or something like that. It's the AS3X Plus with telemetry, but just a 6-channel. You need one channel for each of the elevators, I guess. Elevators. So elevator and aileron function here. One for the rudder / nose wheel steering. You could put nose wheel steering in a separate channel. One for the landing gear, one for the throttle. So throttle, landing gear, rudder, left and right, elevator, or whatever you call it. And you could put nozzle steering in one. Well, sorry, you got reverse too. So I'll just leave nozzle steering wide in with the rudder, and I'll put reverse in channel 6. That's it. So not much to it. I'll glue these on, show you the finished product, and I'll hook up the receiver tomorrow and we'll see how that looks. Okay, I got everything glued on. Other than these pieces here in the tail, because I do plan on putting the Tiger Meat decals on there at my own peril, because I'm not good at water slide decals, but I think I can figure it out. I'm gonna put them on there. It just kind of looks striking, looks pretty good. And then I'll glue these on, because you'll have to cut a slot to the decal. I think it'll be a lot easier to put it on first and then cut the slot and then glue these on. So they're just stuck in there. Everything else went on pretty easy. Took a little bit of looking. The instruction manual doesn't tell you where a lot of those parts go, so I actually had to refer to someone else's YouTube video, the Motion RC YouTube video on it. And even then, there's some differences in at least I didn't seem to have the wingtip parts the guy references, and I had this other part he didn't reference. I think it goes under the nose, so I didn't put those on. The drop tanks, as I mentioned, I'm going to wait until after I maiden to put the drop tanks on. I could put the pylons on, but what I'm going to do is I've got a rec plane that has ordnance. I'm going to borrow the sort of quick connect parts from that plane, put them on the pylons, and that way I can take them off, because sometimes I just like the plane to be totally clean without the pylons. I'm going to do the same thing with the 90mm F4. One interesting thing, apparently the magnets were stronger than the glue on a couple of these on the pylons, where the drop tanks are held on the pylons with magnets, and it just pulled the magnet right out of the glue, and the magnet stayed and the glue didn't. So that's an easy fix, no big deal. Just rather strong magnets, they're pretty neat. So that's it. Plane looks pretty good. I'll do the setup, hook up the receiver, and I'll show you that tomorrow. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching Gerad Riester YouTube, where anything worth doing is worth overdoing. And I look forward to, I'll do the setup, and then probably maybe next week after, I'll have to wait to do the flight, the maiden flight, to get out to the field, because I'm going to be doing a lot of full-scale flying over the next week or so. So thanks for watching. As always, like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Have a great day. Don't run out of airspeed, altitude, and ideas all at the same time. And remember, anything worth doing is worth overdoing. Thanks. Bye. Elevons. The surfaces on a Delta Wing plane are called elevons. I could not come up with that. Had to throw that in there. Have a great day.